What is going on, people? And welcome back to Spurs Down Under. Another great week here in Oz, and no games tonight, so we get to go free reign. But first of all, Brad, welcome back, brother. How are you?
I'm going good, bro. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. It's nice to not have a Tottenham game straight after the show, so we
I
can
know.
relax a little. Um, but before we get into it, guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing to the channel. We are on the Hotspur Hood, so make sure you hit up Tommy's subscriptions, but also head on over to Total Hotspurs as well, where our channel is. And if you like what we're doing, subscribe over there. But it's been another good week for Tottenham. Still buzzing after that Sheffield United game, and I did want to start the show by covering the game and the thoughts and feelings that we got with people in the chat. We've got two early birds. Uncle Merv, big up yourself, and Nickel, big up yourself, boys. But Brad, so we did have a chat about it on our channel, on our match review. Well, I did anyway. But what were your thoughts coming back? Considering that Tottenham as a team over the last couple of years have been very fairly, used to not coming back after going 1-0 down against a team that parks the bus, has a low block. Very surprised to see us win that game. If I'm honest, felt like it was one that we're going to lose. But what's your thoughts on why and how we turned that game around?
I don't know how we did. We had late subs on the coming on. I don't know how we done it, but I guess the boys fought hard. Richie, Kulu stepped up and had to win the ball. Richie, in all seriousness, Richie scored the goal and got the assist. But it wasn't just like it was Richie and Kulu, the main men. It was Madison had a part in it too. But yeah, look, I don't know how we come back from that. Normally, that game, I was counting us out for that game. When they scored the 78th minute, whatever it was, 70th minute, we were done. But that's just the Spurs way of how we used to play. We were just so deflated by that point.
Yeah, and I think the main point I'm trying to get across is the mentality changed, and for me the only change has been Ange, and he's the main man that I actually want to highlight on this on today's show, because this man can't do no wrong apart from the Fulham game. I don't know if any of you watched the fan forum with Daniel Levy and Sonny. I will say before we get into it, piss poor questions, really.
Yeah.
None of the people that were there didn't ask Levy any hard hitting questions. Didn't question his ambition. More worried about fashion sense than anything else. But there's something that Ange did right at the end, and we shouldn't have to highlight it because this should be a daily occurrence in our society. But Ange made sure that a person with a fan with Down syndrome's got his question out and made sure that he was allowed to speak. And I've never been to these fan forums or been in a press conference or anything, but I do find that they try and get the most well-spoken, most known journalists, give them the questions, and kind of shunt anybody else that either can't speak well or isn't one of the main guys. And it's a small token from Ange, but the fact is this is the manager that we have, right? And we can debate about whether he's going to win his trophies, whether he's one of those elite managers, whether all that stuff. At the end of the day, I don't mind going with a lesser manager if he's an actual genuine good person that's looking out for the club and for the people that support the club. And the fact that he pointed it out, and like I said, it shouldn't be something that we highlight because it should happen daily through all walks of life. But the fact that this man is at the height of his career with the best team that he's ever managed, and he's getting all the love and adulation, he still has time for the little guy. And I want to reiterate to people that's kind of like the Australian way. Us being English living out here in Australia, it's I have we have family back at home, and I've been back multiple times, and just this is what the Australian people are about, looking after a mate. And how much has this man changed the mentality of the fan, like, in terms of wanting to win and wanting to play for the badge. Because these players last season didn't give a toss. Let's be honest. What do you think? How is your feelings on Ange, because I never really asked you how are you feeling about our manager Ange?
It's probably one of the best managers we've had after that Poch reign, 100%. Like I feel in my eyes, he's better than Poch. Poch did have the players, he had the club, but then after that Champions League game, he lost it. But Ange, he's come in. He's just told the boys what he expects, and he's not playing old style football. He's playing what Ange wants to play, what the club used to play, what we have to play to win games. He knows what he's doing. But yeah, he is with a bigger club than his biggest club he's ever been with. But he's open and honest with the players, the managers, the lot. If he doesn't like it, he'll probably say something. There's nothing I don't think he hasn't liked as of yet. But as a person for Ange, he's that father figure to these young players too, to lead them on the right path, to get the best out of them. And that's what we need. We're not going to be a team that's going to be winning trophies or winning the Premier League this season, because he's got some young boys underneath him now that he can put some time and effort into to build this club bigger for the future. You know what I mean? So he's taking his time to adapt to the players, adapt to the team, and it's working. Because look, we come back after that win, and we wouldn't have any other manager. We would have parked the bus and didn't score a second goal. We attacked, and we went all right attack, and we scored because he had faith in the team, and the boys had faith in him.
Yeah, look, I can't disagree with anything you said, but Hotspurs, welcome to the show, Hotspurs TV. But he has put down, I hope we don't play an open game tomorrow. Our best success at the Emirates is playing on the counter. Look, I'm on the fence because Andrew's openly said that he's not going to go to Arsenal and be scared. He's going to go there and play the way that we usually play. He's not going to change his style for anyone. And I do think an open game suits us. However, I do agree with you, it suits Arsenal too. Their style, the way that we play and Arsenal play is kind of similar. However, they play CDMs with their right and left backs, whereas we play inverted right and left backs. That's really only the major difference. Everybody else kind of plays the same kind of role. And it's going to be a hard game. Now, I will agree that Arteta has had more time with his team, and they know his system, his play style 100 times more than we do. Only 6 games into Ange's like proper games, I should say. Don't count pre-season. But what are your thoughts? Do you think our best option is to go counter-attacking or like Conte? Obviously, at the same style, we won't play 5 at the back or anything. But do you think we should just keep going the way we go?
I think just keep going the way we're going. It's working. Look, that Fulham game, we can't put that onto the boys that we have now because half of those weren't even on the pitch at that Fulham game. But I think we need to play how we're playing because it's 100% working. I just think my biggest worry in this coming into this game is between the sticks as Vicario. Going to NLD for someone being young, that's just my biggest worry. Other than that, I've got no worry. We can play the way we play. We know we're going to score goals. I think Maddison's going to have a blinder of a game. He's going to dominate that midfield.
Well, Danny, big up Danny. He's been on a few channels as of late, and he was on with Tommy multiple times. But he says, we try and play Arsenal away at their style of play. We can get hurt. More tactics needed on this one. And honestly, I can see their points though, Brad. You can't disagree that Arsenal are better at the style of play than we are.
100% they are, 100%.
And
we don't have a good luck at Emirates anyway.
Yeah, going away to Emirates, it's I don't see us coming out of there with a win. I think we can get a draw. But can't we? Don't you think we can play kind of the same style that we're playing at the moment? But be more tactical. I think Ange has it. He pulled something out against Sheffield. Obviously, it is Sheffield. They're not Arsenal. But, he pulled off Van der Ven, chucked on
Højbjerg.
An extra Højbjerg and an extra midfielder, and then played a Doji and Royal as right and left centre backs. But I think it's hard, right? We've got to be. For me, it's more man marking. We've got to shut down Odegaard. Havertz, as much as everyone says he's crap, on his day he can be a decent player.
100%.
And for
But
me,
they got Rice.
The midfield battle and the one-on-ones out wide for me are going to be the key. I think the major battle is going to be a doggy versus Saka.
Yeah,
I think if a doggy can handle Saka, I don't think. And well, actually, no, I think Trossard versus Porro too. It's kind of, I don't even know who's playing on their right back. Is White playing there again, or is Partey still back?
I haven't even looked.
It's right, isn't it? White's
I think
right.
White's always been their right back.
Yeah. Big up, Eugene.
Eugene, how you going, brother?
Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're doing well over there on Spursation TV. And then Has brought it. If it was me, I would tell Biss and Sarr as a 2 and tell the back 4 to drop and let Maddison play freely in the pockets and use the front 3 as runners. My front 3 different to everyone else I've seen. So Has, what's your front 3, brother? Because I would probably go Johnson, Son, and Kulu.
100%.
Or Johnson, Son, and Solomon. I know people are going to hate me for saying take Kulu off, but I think this is a game where we can run at their left and right backs.
Yeah, but I think we can use Kulu in the second half as well.
Are they still playing Kivior left back? I haven't even watched any of that.
I haven't even watched any of their games, bro, to be fair. I haven't been fussed about it.
I think.
But would you start Johnson in an NLD?
They're playing Zinchenko. Yeah, I mean, I think Johnson is good enough. I think he can. Big up Spurs Spartan. He says both set defenses are rapey. This is going to be a shootout. It's on the day for me.
100%.
I think for me this is it, right? We can talk about tactics. We can talk about style of play, but I think it's whoever turns up on the day, and it's an NLD. It's a rivalry. Form goes out the window. Everyone's talking about how in form we are. Arsenal are just as good on the same points, won the same amount of games and drawn the same amount of games. It's the big talk this week. I think this is going to be one of the hardest NLDs, but most exciting NLDs in a while.
It is.
Has come back with his. He says basically a back 6 with 2 sit in front and use Maddison as like a sleeper free, and I'd play Son, Johnson as runners, and Richie as a high ball out and use him for set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
That could work. I mean,
it could work too.
If Richie brings back that goal scoring form at the end of Sheffield, but for me, I feel like it's a bit too early to be like, you scored a goal. It's like Son when he scored that hat trick against Leicester last season, and all of a sudden he's like, yeah, Son's back, and then he didn't score for another 6-7 games. It's very, very hard to pick it, but I do like Richarlison in and around the middle. I do think he really needs to get confidence, and
100%. But Richie can niggle at him too as well.
Yeah,
as well. And I mean, underneath their skin, we need that in an NLD.
Yeah, I mean that is true, and he's very heated sometimes, and I think in an NLD sometimes you need that bit of aggression, especially going up front. But look, guys, I understand what everyone's trying to say, right? In games like this against the big guys, we have to change it. But I know people don't like talking about history. I know people don't like talking about other teams. But Ange went to the Bernabeu and bloody played the same system against Real Madrid. Albeit they did lose. I think it was like 3-1 or 5-3, whichever it was. But they didn't lose until the second half because of the quality of players. Now, obviously, Arsenal probably have a bit of it. I'd say we've got the same level of quality on overall across the pitch, and maybe 1 or 2 positions that they've got a bit better in quality. Especially, I think out wide at the moment, Saka is probably better than Kulu, if I'm honest. And Martinelli, Trossard is better than Solomon or Johnson. I don't think Gabriel Jesus is the same type of player as Sonny. He does provide a lot more. But he went to Real Madrid and he played them off the park for 50 minutes. Now it's completely different with the rivalry involved. You've got the passion we're going and playing away too, so it's gonna be very, very hard. But see,
it's hard to pick this game, bro. I can't pick nothing with this game right now because I got to see what the first 10 minutes like.
Yeah, I don't want to alter. I think we go in it with the same tactics, but I do think if we see that they're going pear shaped, we do need to change it. Definitely need to change it. Big up Super Tottenham TV. Welcome to the show.
Big ups, brother.
Has said, I agree with you guys, Saka versus Doggy, and whoever on the right versus Zinchenko would judge the game. Yeah, for me, I think Saka is their key. He's their star boy at the moment. He's just playing out of his world, and he's got to be one of the best right wingers in the league.
100%.
Up there with Salah, for me. And I think this is the test for a Doggy as well. He's played very well this season already.
He's had a good start of the season.
He's good start of the season, good transition into the Premier League. But this is the game where it shows if he's gonna make it, or if he's going to obviously if he does have a poor game, it won't derail his Premier League career, but it is a good test. He is coming up against probably the best right winger in the league at the moment. Saka's pretty much just got England and Arsenal on his shoulders. This kid, as much as we hate to say, he is a baller.
And he is, bro. You can't doubt that.
I think, what do you think? Do you think Kulu up one-on-one with Zinchenko? Because Kulu's going to start. Let's be honest. It'll be Kulu, and if it's not Johnson starting on the left with Son in the middle, it's going to be Son and it's going to be Solomon. Son and Richarlison. But I do like the idea of having Son and Johnson on the wings, because Johnson's a bit more pacey than Kulu. So who would you have on the right-hand side? Because I think if Johnson does play, he'll play on that right. You reckon Kulu or Johnson?
Look, I'd say don't change the team and put Kulu. But I think being tactical wise, you drop Kulu to the bench, bring Johnson on, see how Johnson goes for the first 45. If he doesn't do well, where he gets scored, you can change him in the first half, or you can bring Kulu on the 50th, 60th minute and change the game, because Kulu is starting to find some form now. He's getting the confidence. He can get behind. He can do all these things. But my heart is still saying Kulu, just because of the team is working at the moment. So leave it.
Yeah, look.
At this game, this is the only game of the season I can't predict what's going to happen.
Yeah, because we go to Man City. I think Man City and Arsenal are the only, and maybe Liverpool at the moment. Liverpool are playing well at the moment. They're the three teams that I sit there and go, if we go at these guys the way we're going at every other team, they could hurt us. However, I do think we can hurt them too. I do think, especially with our midfield transition, I'm not going to put Sarr in it, but with Basuma and with Maddison, I think we have the two most informed midfielders in the league at the moment.
If we have Basuma on a game, we're set.
Yeah, I think this game is going to be depicted by how well Basuma and Sarr handle the transition from Odegaard, and Havertz is going to play. If it's not Havertz, I don't know if Partey's injured still. And then it's also going to be how well Rice can contain Maddison. If Maddison's free, as Has has said, give him the space, then I think we dominate, because the defense 100%. Is kind of shaky at the moment. I think our defense is actually a bit better in terms of form at the moment, but I'm not too sure.
I think we do keep Richie on, but we start Richie because of that under the skin. Get under their skin early in the game and get the defenders, the back three or four, whatever they played, to get cards. You know what I mean? He can do it. If he starts controlling the game from there, Maddison will have let loose in the middle, because he knows players can't do nothing.
Yeah, well, we've also got to consider they've had midweek against PSV. I know they won 4-0. They won quite comfortably, and all front three and Odegaard got a goal, which is scary. But you've got to realise that half of these guys haven't played Champions League football before, and half of these guys haven't played a high-pressure game like the Champions League before the NLD. Saka's first game in the Champions League was this week. So I'm hoping that it's a bit of a mentality game, because we need to have them off edge. But I'll get to some comments. So Has said, Spurs Spartan has said, Has, you don't change it for the sake of changing it. Look at Munn, the guy dropped the bollock for the sake of it. And we will get into Gabardini a bit later. But, Scott Munn first coming in and doing I think he did a poor decision. Ian, big up Ian, said, hey guys, pod is growing, well done. I think the biggest confrontation will be between the two managers. Arteta will feel unsure. He does not know Ange, and Ange will test him with his second half changes. 100%. And that's, for me, it's not about changing it at the start. I think if we keep the way we're playing, Ange will be proactive. He was proactive when Richarlison was playing.
If we can go middle or half time, will be good.
Yeah, I
think
1
goal up.
I think we need to maintain continuity, and then but Ange needs to have the balls to change it. I did criticize him last week the fact that he made his changes so late, even though they worked. And I know everyone's gonna they worked in the end, and I'm glad. But I felt like he left it too late. He should have brought them on about 10 minutes earlier.
Before they scored, they should have been
on. However, we're not going to judge that because we did win the game. So it is what it is. Eugene said the front three won't be changed. I don't think so either. I think Solomon. I think the only person who will be changed will be Solomon, if it is. But it's very, very hard to pick because who do you put there? Do you put take Kulu off, put Johnson on the right, Son on the left, Richarlison in the middle? Do you do what Spurs Tottenham TV has said and goes put Richie on the left, Kulu on the right, and Son up the middle? Do you do that? I mean, I wasn't too keen on Richarlison playing wing last season, but it also could have been the system that we're playing last season.
The system's whole different. Yeah, the system's whole different, completely different now.
Yeah, I do like the idea of having Richie and Son because I feel like they press more. Son did really well last week against Sheffield pressing, made the goalkeeper really, really work, even though he shouldn't have been on the pitch. Big up Louis K. How you doing, brother? Welcome to the show. Hotspur's TV has said whoever Arsenal pick as their third midfielder is significant. Havertz, Smith Rowe, or Vieira, all options for them. You're right, but like I said, I think their main two is going to be Odegaard and Rice. We need to try and stop Rice from pocketing Maddison, and we need to allow Basuma to pocket Odegaard. I think for me, as much as everyone, I don't really rate Odegaard. It's probably top 5 midfielders in the league for me, but I don't. But as much as Arsenal fans say he's the best in the league at the moment, I think Maddison's probably the best. And KDB is injured, so but Odegaard is someone we need to watch out for. He does pop up with a goal. He doesn't mind taking a shot, and he's playing well for him at the moment. We really need to, and that third midfielder, I just think if Sarr can run him ragged, then maybe we can win that midfield battle. It's really a battle all over the pitch, though. And the only people that we're not really talking about, and you mentioned Vicario.
That's my worry. That's all I got my worried about is the young'un in goal at Emirates. The toxicity is going to be in the stadium.
Yeah, it's got to be a big test. 26 is young for a goalkeeper. First NLD. But the thing is, he's probably handled some rivalries.
But he's handled himself well in the Premier League too, though, as well.
Yeah,
so you give him that, but I'm just worried about that in goal because you know what it's like.
Yeah, Louis said, "Really, what about these lot just to shut?" Yeah, look, that Arsenal fans are arrogant, even if they're 8th. Especially out here. Like I don't like it's definitely bad back at home, but out here it's sometimes it feels like it's another level because 100%. Like most Aussies didn't start supporting the Premier League recently. They've all only followed the big teams, like Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, Man United, and Man City now, obviously. So like there's not many other teams around unless they come from England over here. So the amount of arrogant Arsenal fans that I know, it's out here alone is they just think they're Champions League finalists automatically. It's quite
they win one game, they think they've won Champions League.
And thoughts on this, bro? Because I had a chat with Tommy at the start of the year before we even played this, and maybe that we would play Maddison and
we spoke about this
as rotating 10s or 8s. I felt like Kulu can play in that midfield. However, me and Tommy had different of opinion. He liked the Maddison type with the skills, the dribbling, the one touch, a bit more silky. And I don't mind Kulu as the kind of stronger, get the ball, be able to fend off. He's a bit stronger than Maddison. Obviously not as good as dribbling, but has to pick a good long shot. Can kind of get the ball from Basuma and drive into the box with it as well. But the thing is, Maddison can do that too, but he's a bit more silky. So what's your opinion on moving like Kulu middle?
Kulu went to the middle and he scored.
If we move in middle though, who do we sacrifice? Because do you just not play wingers and play Son and Richarlison through the middle?
Just go.
Or do you push Maddison out wide? Front. Or
Well, that could be a thing now as well because Perry's not here. If we need someone to whip it in the box, we can have Mads drip out wider. Have Kulu through the middle, you know what I mean? And Mads can still cross the feed Son. That could be a possibility of not having Perisic for the rest of the season.
Yeah, well, that's a big loss for me. I felt like this discussion that we're having is I wouldn't even mind playing Perisic on that left if Richarlison's in the middle to provide the crosses, because I feel like Perisic is probably our best.
It's a big loss
crossing
this season.
specialist.
It's a big loss.
Daniel E has come in. I don't know if it's Danny or is his twin. He said, yeah, if we go to Arsenal with this attacking football, I feel Arsenal will pick us off on the counter. I'm worried a bit. And look, I understand the sentiment, and I understand the thought that, you know, if we go to Arsenal and we try to go at them and they catch us. But are we doubting our defence? I mean, the defence has been okay. We've conceded some silly goals this year with the main guys. I mean, is our defence really going to be that bad that we can't go at Arsenal?
We haven't got Dyer at the back, so I think we'll be okay. Like,
you reckon?
We've got Van Romero. The pairing seems good at the moment. I think Van, if Saka gets past Adoji, Van Van's going to cover him. We see what Van can do.
Yeah.
At the moment, his tackling, his just jockeying, everything. I think he can save us from a lot of goals. If Dyer was in that position, they probably could score more. It's going to be tough, but I think just our midfield needs to dominate that game, and then that's what needs to be. Midfield needs to start attacking players, shutting down the passes. If not, then our defenders are going to have to work their asses off the whole game.
Yeah, look, I'm worried about our aerial threat. I don't think Romero or Van der Ven are very good in the air.
They're not.
Not that Arsenal have big players that can attack us aerially, but with set pieces, I'm a bit worried. Especially the likes of Saliba, Gabriel, Magalhaes is quite good in the air, and I don't. That's the only thing I think we're bad at is aerial defense. But Arsenal do play along on the floor a bit. At the end, it's tough. Spurs has said, guys, I live in North London. All my friends are either Arsenal or Spurs. Yeah, look, we're born and bred in North London. I was back there when we lost 4-1. I was staying at my cousin's at a stone's throw away from the Arsenal Stadium. I'm not saying that fans out here are worse than people in London, but it's quite lonely being a Spurs fan in Australia. Currently, it's a bit better because of Ange. But over the last 10, 15 years, it's been quite lonely. And most people that I know that follow football are Arsenal fans. So and because I am English and they're Aussie, they love to give it to me more because they love giving it to the English, especially if we're Tottenham fans. Audio, welcome back to the show, mate. Always here. How are you, bro? Super Tottenham TV said, I feel like it's going to be a midfield battle on Sunday. We might have to play one more central midfielder, Basuma, Sarr, and Højbjerg. That could be an option. We did that against Sheffield. We brought on Højbjerg. We actually no, I think we took Sarr off, but what we did was we chucked an extra player. I think Kulu moved into the middle, didn't he? It was
Kulu moved out and Johnson went out to the right. It was Kulu,
and then Perisic on the left, and we had Sonny through the middle. Oh no, we had Richarlison through the middle.
Richie through the middle.
Well, I mean, having four in the middle, to play around their midfield. I felt like that happened to us last season too. We got overrun in midfield, and our backs weren't that bad. It's just that every team could play against our two. And with the likes of Zinchenko and I think White moving into that CDM role, providing more bodies in midfield, that this might be a viable option.
Yeah,
to try and counter that. Or maybe it might be that we push Udogie and Porro further up the pitch to try and pin back Saka and Trossard, because Trossard's going to be starting on that left.
He's going to be bombing on all game, and Saka doesn't stop.
Yeah, and Audio reckons it's going to be an open game, and it's going to come down to goalkeepers. Yeah, I've already put a bet on it, and I reckon it's going to be more than 3 goals. I've tipped Sonny to score, but I've given us the win. Big up Shelter. Looks like it's an Arsenal fan. He said, I heard your manager say he's going to come at our gaff and attack. Good luck with that. Once again, showing the arrogance. I mean, we'll see what happens tomorrow night, or tomorrow, I should say, for you guys if you are in England. Look, I'm liking the fact that Ange is confident in his team.
The whole team's confident now.
That he isn't scared to go at these teams. Like I said, he went to Real Madrid with Celtic and went toe-to-toe 50 minutes. Obviously, the quality of players ended the game. They lost. However, I feel like we're not that far away in like a golfing class to Arsenal's team. I do feel like they do have a better team overall. However, man for man, I think we match them in most positions.
100%.
I would say Saliba is probably better than Romero and Van de Ven, but I think Romero's on the same level as Gabriel. So, look, I'm going to tip it. I think it's the midfield battle. I think it's definitely going to be between how good of a game Basuma plays and how good Maddison can dictate the game. And whoever's playing, whether it's he might even go Højbjerg. He might even go Højbjerg to try and just be that engine that defends the whole game and has Basuma doing that, tracking into the box. We never know. Ange might change it.
We don't know what's going to happen until tomorrow.
But look, a lot of people have got different opinions. A lot of people, some people want to change it. I have heard everyone wanting to not even changing like the midfield. They're changing, bringing off Porro and putting Royal on to try and stop Trossard. What's your thoughts on that? Like, do we sacrifice Porro's going forward? Attacking us. He hasn't been too bad defensively, but he has left a lot of space on that right hand side behind him.
We know what happens to him. If we really need to, and we're behind, then Porro's just getting turned and dominated. We have to go to Royal. Like, if he's not having a good game, and we're getting absolutely blitzed down that right wing, we're going to have to change it so we can have a defender out there to stop the goals from going in. It's just going to be a very tactical game and substitutions from Ange tomorrow.
Well, I'm hoping
it all starts at the midfield.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping Arteta pulls off a Pep-like decision where he decides to change his whole system to try and to out-tactic Ange. But Daniel E has asked a question. He says, let's say for somehow we go up 2-0 early, can you see us keeping this attacking football or shutting up shop a little bit? I think Ange will shut up shop, or he will play more defensive because we are away at Arsenal. But see, with that, I understand that, but I don't see why we keep teams do it so early. Yeah, we can't. We're not a team that
we can't play out from the back.
We just
can't.
I don't know. I think he will shut up a little bit. I think he'll probably, bring off one of the front forwards, play two in the middle, like play maybe Son and Richarlison up front, and then bring on Højbjerg or another defender to try and help. Maybe even change Royal out for Porro, go a bit more defensive like that. Maybe drop the line a bit deeper. But I think Ange's line is high because he relies on quick centre backs to cover the balls over the top. Now, this is probably going to be the worst game to do that because Trossard, Saka, and Jesus aren't slow.
Van der Vaan's going to be running around everywhere because Romero isn't that quick.
Louis Cases, I think having Højbjerg there is static, though. Yeah, you're right.
But it's a good defender, though.
I wouldn't say he's a great defender. I just think he just runs a lot and he's quite. But you're right. When we're trying to transition into attack, Sarr and Basuma are 100 times better in dribbling or going past players than Højbjerg ever will be. And Shelter's come back. It was not arrogance, bro. It's just facts. We get a lot of joy against teams who don't sit back. We struggle to break teams down. So we prefer to play you. Come and play your football. Well, the thing is we're the same though. We struggled against Sheffield. But as soon as teams open up, we play well. So I think the essence of each play style is the same. It's just there's a couple of tweaks that Arteta does, and what Ange does is different. Like I said, the right and left backs we play inverted. You guys play them coming into the midfield, into the CDM roles. I think, to be honest, I think it's going to be an end-to-end game. I think it's going to be like a 2-2-3-3. I honestly don't think, if not, I don't think we're going to get a win. It's Emirates. We don't win there at the best of times.
Yeah, we haven't had a good run there. So,
and we
we can put up a fight though. That's what we need to do. We need to go there and fight and make it a tight game. It's going to be goal for goal. I can feel it.
Well, I think maybe it might be the decision. I think it's what I'm going to agree with audio. It's going to come down to the goalkeepers.
Yeah,
it'll come down to whether I think David Raya will play. Which is going to be a kick in the nuts if he actually has an outstanding game and we didn't sign him at the start of the season. And we got Vicario instead. It's going to be a massive pressure for Vicario. And what's your thoughts, though? Like, I asked the question that Ramsdale has been dropped for 2 games.
Yeah, well, Ramsdale's played 2 and Raya's played 2. Maybe he's just goes, I've got 2 first-team goalkeepers, switch it around. Don't know. I don't read much into their team to to care really. But Ramsdale, backup goalkeeper for England, doesn't get picked over Raya. I don't know what it is. It's something Arteta's trying to do. I don't know. Maybe he's just like, you know what, having it so teams that know he's trying to do tactical with the teams that aren't playing Raya, or you know what I mean. It's hard to understand what he's trying to do. But just going to focus on my biggest focus right now is on Vicario. I don't care who they got in goal. I know Sonny's scored against both of them. Richie's probably scored against both of them. Mads can score. It's just our sticks. We need to make sure nothing goes in that net.
Well, Daniel E said, I'll take 4 points in the next 2 games. Yeah, look, I said before, after the international break, if we could get 8 points. So I tipped 2 draws. Draw Liverpool, draw of Arsenal, and 2 wins. I said I'd take your hand off. Some boys have said 3 wins and a loss, or 3 wins and a draw. But I think getting 4 points the next 2 games, the thing is Liverpool and Arsenal are both kind of not bogey teams, but I think they're the 2 teams apart from City that we're going to struggle against. So I think that's a great 4 points for the next 2 games would be, for me, would be, I'd step your hand off now if you told me that. I don't care 100%. Who we draw against, or as long as we don't lose.
Win this game.
Well, yeah, I mean, this would be the game to win.
This is the game we need to win, especially at Emirates too.
Super Tottenham TV said the style we play is very attacking, but we are wide open at the back. We don't want to play in Arsenal hands and be so open, tighten things up in the centre midfield because Arsenal will attack us. Yeah, look, it's kind of, we're all reiterating the same thing now. Kind of like, we understand that we're very attacking, but Arsenal are the same though. I think Arsenal's back 4 aren't playing that well at the moment. It's because, Arteta was trying to do some weird stuff. But the midfield is the battle. Like you say, the goalkeepers, I think the midfield battle is the key for me. I think that's where
the midfield's is going to be the way the team wins. Whoever the midfield is more dominant.
Yeah.
100%.
In all cases, I hope Vicario handles the pressure. Bigger test for him than Raya. Yeah, I mean, Raya's already played against these teams. Raya's a good goalkeeper. They didn't realise how good he was until he went for Arsenal. Shelter has said, I believe the game we won on the wings, Martinelli has been past fit and he's going to be against Porro. I'm not sure if he's eventually sound. Saka via Doggy will be fun, and White v Solomon. Yeah, look, I think the main battle is going to be Saka versus Doggy. Yeah, both playing very well this season. Doggy's first season in the league. He is going to be Italy's future left back, guaranteed. He's a good little player. I don't know how we got him.
No idea.
But Saka's the key for me in their attack. He just seems to put, when they're not doing much, he's pulling it out. But I don't know if Trossard deserves to be dropped, because Trossard's been really, really good the last 2 games, and Porro isn't defensively sound. He's been a bit better, but for me, what he brings is adding more to the attack. Now that's probably going to hurt us, because I against United, he gave Garnacho so much space. If that was Son, and if someone gave him that much space, he was banging in 2 goals. He gave a bit of space against Sheffield. He does give a lot of space because he gets forward so much. But so does the Doggy. So it's kind of like the wings. I think both wings. I think if we can attack Arsenal's wings and pin and overlap there, I think we can get great success. But it's also the same for us, because our wingers do invert and go forward. If they get in behind, we're screwed. Is Arteta to Ramsdale what Pep was to Joe Hart?Maybe, but Arteta bought Ramsdale, so it's kind of like I don't know, maybe. I heard there was a thing that someone said to me, and I think I watched it on Sky Sports. It was someone said that Ramsdale was Arteta's goalkeeper to get into the top 4, and Raya's is the goalkeeper for Arteta to win the Champions League or the league. That's how they pinned it. Ramsdale was the stepping stone in goalkeepers to where they wanted to be, and that makes kind of sense.
It does, 100%.
I think Raya is better than Ramsdale. Kind of wish we got him. I would have actually liked it if we got Raya and Vicario, and Vicario was in, but they're both the same age, so Vicario is never really going to get much game time. No. Daniel E says, I don't think we beat Liverpool home or away since we beat them at 4-1. Yeah, I don't think so. I think every time we go there, we play well, and then they just somehow win it. George, big up George, first time on the show, I think. He says, stop Odegaard. Yeah, like I said, I think Basuma's main target, or SARS, whichever one, is playing in that role. needs to shut Odegaard down, because as much as I don't rate him in terms of him being at the top of the table in the midfielders, attacking midfielders, he is a good little player, and he plays well in Arteta's system. He's gonna hurt us, and he comes up with a goal. He likes to shoot.
100% does. He just comes out of nowhere and it's in the goal.
And Arteta went back to his tried and trusted versus PSV. I hope he tries to be clever again and does something silly. Look, I'm like I said, I hope he pulls out his inner pep and just tries stuff like he thinks he's gonna. Because the thing is we play the kind of same system as them. He might go, well, I'm going to switch it up and see if it works, and hopefully it's his detriment. Because not saying that we need it. Like, I'm still quietly confident that we can get a result. I don't think we'll beat them, but I think we can get a nice draw. And for me, a draw is sound for this game, because then I think if we get a draw at this game, we can definitely beat them at home.
Yeah,
it just all depends on, on the day, and hopefully Ange somehow can out-tactician Arteta, because Arteta does some weird stuff sometimes. J-Mac reiterates George's point of saying Odegaard is a problem, and he is. As much as I don't rate him, he is he's playing really well for Arsenal in that system. But I'm going to switch it. Do we think Maddison's the main man for us? Do you think he's going to be the one to lead the way this weekend, or do you think it's going to fall on Sonny's shoulders, or do you think the likes of a Richarlison, if he starts, is going to be the main man?
All the midfield needs to. I honestly think this battle is going to be a grind in that midfield, and then our midfield needs to be out on top and dominant. They need to be shutting down from getting them passes forward, and then when we go on attack, it needs to be Mads linking up with Son, Kulu, whoever's the front three, need to be on their bike, because Mads can put the balls through and get away, but it's just our midfield. It's going to be all three players, not just Mads.
I think they're going to play. I think they're going to play Vieira in midfield, because they played Havertz midweek in midfield. But it all depends. You never know. They usually play Vieira in the Prem games, and then Havertz recently. I think just looking at the lineups for Arsenal the last couple of weeks. So Vieira's played since United. He played in midfield. Until it's the Champions League, and it was Havertz played.
Yeah.
So it's gonna. Vieira is more of a creative type. I would like Havertz to play as a start, because I don't think he's that good. I don't think he brings anything to Arsenal's team. I don't even know why they bought him. They should have just stuck with Vieira.
So we're good.
They should have went for someone else.
It's gonna be the Spursy way that their least best player is gonna score a goal against us.
Yeah, probably. Vieira will probably bang a screamer or a bicycle kick.
It's going to happen. It always happens. Their centre-backs always bang in mad goals. So we should shut that down. But that's the old Spurs. This is a new and improved Ange's football. So
yeah, well, I mean,
I just can't pick this game, honestly. Normally, it's up in the air.
The thing is, everyone makes good points, right? And that's the thing is, I'm the type of person that isn't set on one way of playing football, or one way we should approach a game. My opinion is we should stay the same system and then change it on the fly, and be 100%. Reactive. This game just to see, and the thing is it's because it's Arsenal, right? If this was Liverpool first, I don't think we'd be saying the same thing.
No.
It's just because it's Arsenal, we're all kind of being a bit more cautious.
This game gets the blood pressure high.
It's just it's now making me worried that maybe we should play a bit more defensive, because like people are making great points. It's
they can attack.
This team's had a lot more time to do what they need to do, and they know and if Arteta's going back to what he knows works, and they nearly won the league last year with it, we're going to have to worry. J-Max come in and said the team that consistently beats the press with end product will win. Our midfield have good press resistant players, Basuma and Mattis especially. 100%, and I will say I feel like our front three against Sheffield, especially Sonny, pressed, and I think if they press the shit out of the defenders and Raya or Ramsdale, whoever's in goal, it will cause a lot of trouble. Fotheringham had a shocker in terms of getting the ball clear, was under pressure all the time from Son, and that's kind of what Richarlison does bring as well.
Yeah, that's why I think Richie
is very good at pressing.
Mm.
Louis K said, hopefully Biss can stop Odegaard. He's deadly when given space. Yeah. I think this is Basuma's game. And the thing is, he did put Arsenal in his pocket when he played for Brighton last.
Yeah.
He absolutely bossed it. And I think that's just my opinion. Midfield is the key for us here. If Maddison, Basuma, and Sarr can handle that midfield, I think their transition from defense to attack stops. They're going to have to go wide, and they will rely on Saka and Trossard to really get their goals. And if we're bypassing their midfield and getting through them, I think our front three can do damage.
Yeah.
I think they can get behind, especially White. White plays good on the right. Zinchenko is half decent on the left. I think if we can get in behind them, even if whether you play Johnson on the right or you play Kulu, whether you play Solomon and Son on the left or Richarlison and Son through the middle, any of those combinations, I think we can transition through the middle and we can get out wide and we can beat them. And Son's starting to get a bit of form, press as well. Solomon, even though he hasn't, he got 2 assists the other week, and he's playing half decent. Kulu's starting to get a bit of form. Johnson's a good little addition with his pace, power. I think it's that midfield.
It's always going to be the midfield.
Shelter says Arteta won't do a madness. He's played in NLD. He knows what's at stake. I think he's only lost 2 and won 4 NLDs. I think the bigger factor is it's the Emirates. The atmosphere will be mad. Look, we've always said that the Emirates has been quiet the past couple of years, but you're spot on with this one, Shelter, and it's not hard to admit as a Tottenham fan that Arsenal has been cooking in their stadium in terms of atmosphere since last season. It's going to be insane. Everyone's going to be up for it. It's going to be hectic.
It's one of the games of the season, I think. In my eyes, it is.
Yeah, I think
it's bragging rights for another year.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say that. I think it's we're 2 informed teams, both playing
points.
Very exciting attacking football, both rivals. It's going to be and this could be a mentality game. It could be who's got the mentality to be able to handle the pressure. People 100%. Can say that Arsenal bottled it last year with the pressure, but Tottenham tend to bottle it too. So
yeah,
you might be right, Brad. You might be right. We might be talking about the outfield players, and it might come down to who's a better shot stopper and who's able to handle the pressure.
100%. Yeah.
Audio throwing fire. I had to bring this guy's name up. We've seen Basuma shut down Harry Kane. He won't struggle in this game. I'm loving the confidence. I think
Basuma's on one this season.
I think if Basuma played like he did this season last season, he would have been the bargain of the season easily. I think Basuma's going to have a madness in this game, to be honest. I can see him just dominating that midfield. If we get any chance, it would detonate a chance at the title. City don't slip easily. Yeah, look, City are just a different beast, I think. We got a point. I was at the game when we got a point when we beat them at home in January. I was there, and that was a different. I don't know how we did it. It was a different system, and I don't know why we didn't keep going with that system against teams that play like City. Obviously, not everyone plays like City, but kind of the attacking style. But I think City are the team that's going to run away with the league again this season. It's just the rest of us trying to compete. But look, I haven't got your prediction, Brad. So I'm gonna ask you your prediction after everything everyone said. On both ends. What are you going for in the NLD tomorrow?
I'd like a 3-2, but I'm going to 3-3.
You reckon there's going to be 6 goals in it there?
100% there is.
Ooh,
but then I was wrong with the Sheffield game. So
yeah, I mean we all were. I picked 3-1. I was nearly there. I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. But I would like to see a 3-2 win. But I don't.
3-2 win.
I think it's going to be a 2-2, or we might lose this game because it is the Emirates. And it is
with the confidence I've seen from the players, from the manager coming into this game, it's not going to be like an NLD we've seen the last couple of seasons. It's not.
Well, I mean, even Sonny was talking shit.
Yeah.
Sonny even came out and said that they haven't seen a Tottenham like this. So, I mean, if the players and especially Sonny, he's very humble and very, very composed. He doesn't like to talk big. If he's coming out and saying that, and he was sitting next to Saka in that bloody fashion show, and Saka looked like he was scared of Sonny. I mean, not that it really matters, really, because Saka probably will perform tomorrow. But
Saka he's going to be against us tomorrow.
It's a different
This will be
mentality
crazy.
beast, really, I think. J Mac has said that he reckons Woolwich is going to get bodied in their own swamp. It's going to be 3-2 Spurs.
I hope so, mate.
Loving the
I hope
confidence.
so.
If you are in the chat, guys, let us know your score predictions, because I'm seeing a lot of people say it being a bit not shaky, but being a bit wary of Arsenal and the way we're playing. But it'd be nice to see some confidence in the chat. Albeit, let's not get too carried away saying a 5-0 win. Shelter said the first goal is key. If Spurs score first, I believe we'll be having a game on our hands. But if Arsenal score, it's going to be a lot tougher for you lot. I'm going 3-1 Ars. Nice stream. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Cheers, bro.
Look, that's key
we
as
have
well.
to score first.
However, we have gone down, I think, twice or 3 times already this season, conceded the first goal and come back.
Yeah, but I'm sick. I'm sick of coming back. We need to score and keep that momentum, not get in the back foot.
So Jacob Farrow, welcome to the show, has said, big up the boys, NLD weekend, Coys. Could be 3-0 either way, both sides are strong.
Ooh,
we could see that. We could honestly see that.
We could see a whitewash.
We could see it where one team just capitulates after the first goal, especially if like Tottenham score first and the whole stadium just deflates, and then the Arsenal, and then we just hit back with a second.
But we know they're not going to, though. We know what Arsenal supporters are like.
It could also be where, Jesus gets a banger and then all of a sudden they just pile on 3 or 4 goals without us even realizing it, and then the stadium's against us. Then it's going to be the most optimistic NLD for me in a while. Audio said Sonny is a train killer, Saka is a church boy. I mean, he looked like a little boy wearing hand-me-down clothes like back in the olden days, like because how they dressed him. It was quite poor the way they dressed him. They should have gave him a nice suit. Sonny looked pretty smick. Yeah, I mean, Saka's a good player though. We can't deny it. Like Saka may look like an innocent, but he's probably their best player for me.
I just think the first team that scores is going to win this game.
That's a good point. Good point.
In my opinion, and we need to score first.
Louis K has said 2-2 or we snatch a 3-2. Yeah, look, I think we're all on the kind of the same page of it's going to be a draw or a sneaky win. I don't think anybody thinks it's going to be a whitewash unless it's like a major mentality game and someone just drops the ball.
Well, I thought Sheffield would be a whitewash, bro, and they scored first, and we had to fight back to get that in extra time.
Big up RJR Jones. He said, if I had to predict, I'd say there'd be 4 goals in it. I think it's going to be at least at least 2 goals each. With the way that we're playing, the way that we're going, I think both teams are going to go at it. They know what it is. Oh, he's going for a 3-1 Arsenal or a 2-2 Spurs. I think I'm not sure if he's an Arsenal fan, but if he is,
that hurts.
Then that's fair enough. If he's a Tottenham fan, come on. You got to be optimistic 100%. Every now and again. The only way we lose is if our players start lacking belief in how Ange wants us to play. Big Ange won't allow it. Yeah, and that's the thing. He's been confident. He's already said, I'm not going to change the way I'm going to play. Sonny's come out and said, we're a different Tottenham now. Like, Arsenal won't see what's coming. Like, the way Romero's mentally changed in his leadership, in his, like, the mentality of the team's completely changed to what it was last season. And for me, that's the difference. And
I think we do have the upper hand coming into this game because of the confidence. And yeah, I think with the way the confidence player is, what Ange's bring, the confidence in the players, I think we've got the upper hand in this game. I think Arsenal might be a little bit worried, but then I think we might get too cocky. That's when we'll make mistakes.
Yeah, that's for me. I think it's honestly the mentality game. It's ultimately, we can say midfield, we can say the goalkeepers. Ultimately, it's the mentality of the teams that's going to really put an edge. RJR said, first rule test for our defence, best number 9 we've come up against is Rashford, who plays well 1 out of every 5 seasons. Yeah, so you are an Arsenal fan, so big up yourself for being here. Yeah, look, I think for both, I mean, our defence has considered some silly goals, but they're still fairly fresh. Doggy's new, Van de Ven's new, Porro doesn't really play, hasn't really played for Vicario, so we've still got a young and new back line, so that may be at our detriment, but, I think Arsenal do have to worry about our front 3, whether it's, and I think we have a viable front 3 with about 5 or 6 players. Kulu, Johnson, Richarlison, Son, and Solomon. I think any variation those 3 does hurt Arsenal. Some may more than others. And I'm going to call it. I think Richarlison's going to have a good game. I think he's gonna
if he starts
lead
or
on the
comes
back
on,
of Sheffield.
I think so.
Shelter has said, we always come back when we go a goal behind at the Emirates. The belief is mad these past few years. We just don't lose at the Emirates. Lost only one match last season. Now, that's a good stat.
It is.
I mean, and the way you guys are still backing the team, and it is an NLD. It's, look, like I said, I think mentality and the mental side of the game is going to be a factor, probably a major factor in this game. But, man, I hope we win. Like I said, I'm predicting a draw, though. I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw, let's be honest. I think the ref and VAR are going to play a big... Mate, if we get VAR 100%. From last week and ref from last week, we might as well just not go. We might as well just give Arsenal the points because that ref last week was disgusting. I don't know if anybody watched it, and if you're Arsenal fans, you don't want that ref that we had last week.
That was so many mixed emotions in that game.
Jay Macker said, Ange looks for and wants players to keep playing the way you have been coached to play, even if they make mistakes. And I think that's the key here. Players believe that the coach believes in them, regardless if they, do well or not. And I think that's why he does so well, management-wise. I'm going to say something, and I'm not comparing him to this guy because to me, this guy's the best manager ever. But he's got really good man management like Sir Alex Ferguson had. Now Ferguson's on a different level. I'm not saying anywhere near,
he is.
But I think Ange's key is his man management and the way he gets players to believe in his system. Yeah. And Ferguson did that. Some of the teams Ferguson won with the league with should never have won the league with those teams, and that's why I think Ange has a bit of Fergie in him where he can bring players into his system and he knows who he wants, he knows who he doesn't want. I'm very surprised that Dyer and Lloris are both in the 25-man squad. I think they just had to be put in there to make up numbers or something.
It's just in case we need them, really. I think they're like backup.
I think it's going to be a huge test for Ange. It's probably his biggest test for me for the season. I think going up against Pep, he's already done that. He did it with his Japanese team back, and they actually went toe-to-toe with City, I think in a friendly a couple of years ago.
I just think if Ange can get the upper hand on his first NLD, the confidence that has come through the man and the team, even more than the team and the manager has now, is going to be unreal. I think Ange's got a lot to prove this game.
Yeah, and I mean, any manager that comes up against Arsenal as a Tottenham manager has a lot to prove. It's all, but people don't realise how much of the mental battle it is, as well as physical on the pitch at a rivalry game, especially in NLD. So it's going to be crazy. We're not going to go for too much longer, guys. It is 11 o'clock at night here in Australia. We are going to call it soon, but we'll get a few more comments in before we wrap it up. Joe Macker said Jason said the same thing. He reminds me of Fergie in so many ways. And for me, I think he does. He's got that calmness about him. He's a genuine bloke. And obviously these things are really nice for people that don't want controversy, but he's made some big calls this season, dropping Dyer as a club captain, dropping him out of the team. Lloris going nut, surplus the requirements, and trusting, saying to Levy, if you sell Kane, I'll make do. He was always open and honest about the way he is, and the way the players just seem to have just bought into his system so early. Like you got managers like Conte and Jose, who both are world-class managers in their own right, won heaps of trophies. They won everywhere they went, come to Tottenham, and the players just don't seem to buy into their system.
Because they were parking the bus. It wasn't the football that we knew how to play, and the team weren't standing for it.
Yeah, but there's been players that have bought into their systems in the past. They're just different mindset of players, and just renowned for making players that aren't highly rated play above their level.
Yeah, look at Sarr.
He's doing. Sarr. I think Sarr was quality last season.
Yeah,
I think Sarr already had it. I just think Ange has given him the tools and the confidence to
he's letting Sarr do what he wants to do.
But anyways, guys, look, we're going to call it here. It is going to just be a short one tonight. We are going to be doing a live watch along tomorrow night for the Arsenal game. So make sure you jump on over to Hotspur, our channel over there tomorrow to watch us do a live watch along and watch me rage it if we bloody lose. But big ups to everyone in the chat, Arsenal and Tottenham fans that all came in. Audio has quickly said the real test is City at home. They ain't scored a goal and lost to Jose, Nuno, and Conte. Can Ange keep that going? I think he can.
Yeah.
I think City just have a mental block when they come to
Pep
the
hates
Tottenham
coming
Hotspur
to
Stadium.
Spurs.
But big up everyone that joined. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate all the talk. Let's hope we get a good result tomorrow at the Emirates. But Brad, big up yourself for joining
Cheers,
today.
brother.
Big up everyone in the chat. And stay safe. Take it easy, guys. And as we always say here at Total Spurs, stay Spursy, guys.
Stay Spursy, guys.